Sagittarius, welcome to your mid-September 2020 General Tarot Updates. It's Raina here. So I'm using the Light Seers Tarot deck. This is second series that I have used this deck with or in. Very interesting. Very interesting. Being a Sagittarian, it's always kind of funny to see some of these cards. Okay. Alrighty then. So with this deck, you know, it's so funny because I'm still getting familiar with it. So the images I don't automatically assign with certain cards because it is faithful to Rider-Waite, but not 100%. And for instance, the 10 of Swords, we can see that if you know what the Pamela Coleman Smith illustration is, you know that it's a lot more gory, and it shows somebody with a bunch of knives or swords protruding from their back. And what they do, I figured it out, is that she, I guess it's a woman, who does the artwork. Oh, I hope this isn't going to be too blurry. But she uses like black birds to symbolize the swords. I don't know if they're on every sword, but the ones that are like the negative thoughts, the negative situations. Swords can relate to drama, relate to, in some, with some of the cards, negative communication, whether it's some other people who are communicating negatively about you, or you doing it to yourself through worry, 9 of Swords, through negative self-talk, 8 of Swords. And it's definitely like it can be conflict and things like that. Now, with the 10 of Swords, it's actually possible that this card for a lot of you represents the end of this, that you have hit bottom. And I don't necessarily mean that you are experiencing some kind of horrible state that you're in at the moment, but simply that the cycle is over with. I know a lot of Sages have kind of been shaking their heads the last few years because we were promised the moon and the stars, having Jupiter in our sign, and then Jupiter in Capricorn, second house. Wow, show me the money. And it's like, okay, what's going on here? I think that, first of all, if you are a Sagittarius sun, you have to understand that your rising sign is going to determine your natal chart. So that's a whole other can of worms, ball of wax, what have you. And that is going to be different than perhaps the situation that you find yourself in right now. And the solar chart, to me, is more about your higher aspirations, not just the mundane daily events. So for Sages, if you consider yourself on the spiritual path, those things like the money and the, whatever it is that you were hoping that these transits would have brought you is not necessarily enough for you right now, or the timing of those, you would have to look at your natal chart, not your solar charts. And so looking at it from that higher perspective, it's really how you want to develop your consciousness. And some of these challenging events can actually, create more strength. They can strengthen you ultimately, even though in the moment they feel very challenging and uncomfortable. So that could be good news that, that is over with, that is coming to an end. Because now we're starting to get these eclipses with Sag and Gemini. So they're going to trigger the lives of Sagittarians, whether your sun or your rising sign is Sag. In the past position, we have the Tower card. This is that sense of something maybe unwanted that happened, that has led to this moment. And maybe for the Ten of Swords, for some of you it is betrayal, but the thing is, it's a release. It's like, I guarantee you that the vast majority of people who, let's say they lost their job and it was a sudden thing and they never saw it coming, or that they found out that their partner was cheating and they never saw it coming. I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of those people were not happy prior to that. We're not happy in their job. We're not happy in their career. The thing is, they wanted to be the one to make the change. They didn't want it made for them. And the problem with that is, sometimes we don't make those changes. We try to tolerate it for whatever reason. And this is actually a gift. All of these eclipses too can produce those Tower moments. And actually it's like a crisis, or a sudden change. Even a positive sudden change can be a crisis when you identify with being a victim. When you identify with, not having, always losing, never winning. When you start to win, watch out, because that can be the most frightening thing for you. Much more frightening than losing when it's something that is in your comfort zone. And this is the secret, I think, to success, is being able to embrace success in the first place and not shove it, push it away. Also, the Tower card can be a recent, if you've met somebody and you've had love at first sight, maybe that has signaled to you that the beginning of your healing is here, that the Ten of Swords, all of the things that you experienced, if you have had betrayal in your past and now you've met somebody and it just seemed like it came out of nowhere, that can show you that you are definitely in a new cycle. The higher message is the Nine of Cups. And you see that the background, and I think in the Rider-Waite deck, they also use a yellow background. Yellow, we know yellow is a color that we associate with joy, and all of that. And this card certainly seems to be, you see that the person has that treasure trunk full of gold or jewelry. Because even though this is cups, so we associate it with emotions, positive emotions, this can also be associated with something like having a material abundance as well. I think it's through the number 9 that it's connected to Jupiter. Although I think I tried to look that up and I wasn't sure. Well, the 9th house is Jupiter's house. So this is a feeling of, getting what you want, having your wishes come true. And you see those other 2 cards, they're not so warm and fuzzy. The Ten of Swords, the Tower card, and then we have this 9 of Cups, and this is the higher message. It's saying, this is a world of contrasts. And when you have suffered, and then you have this wonderful thing, they use that expression, it's sweeter, the victory is sweeter, because you've been through hell and now you can appreciate things more. Doesn't mean we should put ourselves in hell, intentionally, but it can make the suffering seem like it had a purpose, that it wasn't just randomly being done to us, that we have some kind of a target on our backs for abuse, for things not going our way. So reveling in that, being humble within the face of having something happen that you really want. This is a card that can indicate smugness, and smugness comes when I feel there's like a foundation of insecurity and smugness, where the person is like trying to prove themselves to others. See, I really am okay. Look, I got this job. You said I'd never make it, and look at where I am right now. And this, to me, because this is kind of like a mid-month reading, this is something going on currently that is a success, is a victory in some way, a happy occurrence, when perhaps there had been a lot of dark clouds. What crosses you is the Five of Cups, which is, let's see what they show here. Is that supposed to, I'm wondering if that's supposed to be the moon reflected in the water. It looks like the moon hidden. Isn't that a beautiful card? And, you can see the expression on this woman's face. There's a dejection here. And this is a card of mourning the loss of something. So an example would be, let's say you lost your job and you feel that you were betrayed in the workplace. And you feel like it was unfair, that what happened to you should never have happened. That you were kind of like, it was kind of like you were blindsided. And so you feel like kind of disappointed in others because you trusted them. They didn't seem to care. And the upshot is something good happens that makes it much better than even what you had before. And yet you can't get over that feeling of how you were treated. This can sometimes happen with Sagittarius because of our positive nature, our general positive nature. We're human, so sometimes we might be in a pissy mood or something, but in general, we tend to be optimists. And when other people do things that are not very kind, that are downright, seem to be underhanded, it can feel like, wow, that's horrible. How could somebody do that to somebody else, and kind of take it like in that sort of way. And the truth is that, they have that saying, hurt people hurt people. And it's not excusing bad behavior, but simply explaining, that people who are happy and they feel good about themselves don't do things like that. So you have to feel sorry for people who go through life trying to undermine others and not be cooperative and not try to kind of lift each other up. What is coming in is the Devil card, and this is a card that is associated with Capricorn. And, it's funny. As I record this, Jupiter is going direct today. How amazing. So that's the ruler of Sag is Jupiter. So the Devil card, because I was thinking of Capricorn and thinking about Jupiter being in Capricorn. And so that could be like a turning point as we, see Jupiter going direct, is that kind of signaling that you're moving forward in your life. The Devil card also is letting go of things that are not, that are binding you, addictions. And, it's interesting too, because the fifth house is the house of pleasure, but I have read that it's one of the houses of addictions, from kind of overindulgence type of things. So with Mars now retrograde in this house, it can be actually an easier time to kind of let go of these things that we are tempted, our temptations, and make progress in this. And that's what the Devil card is. What are those things that keep you kind of bound to them because they are, very tempting? And how can you let them go? Now, the other thing too is that Saturn is going direct at the end of this month in Capricorn as well, where it retrograded into. And in December, we'll go back into Aquarius. So that is more compatible with Sag. So perhaps from now until December, when you have Saturn in that second house, learning how to, you have Saturn and Jupiter in that second house of earned income, looking at money and how you relate to it. Do you put too much emphasis on it, or and that to the detriment of your spiritual life, to the detriment of your well-being? You may be even doing some kind of career with the healing arts, because we have here as the outcome the Page of Cups, which is maybe, let's see, I'm trying to see where they have it up here. Did you see in the top corner they got a little pig and all that? I don't know. I can't speak for that. But anyway, the Page of Cups, it's like a baby pig, because this can be like, I guess maybe like, it's a flying pig. I don't know, like the stork. I don't know. I think Page of Cups sometimes can be having a child. It can be a child, but you see the vibes emanating from this person's chest. So it's like the heart chakra. Since this is Cups, we're talking about maybe a new love. And with the Devil card, perhaps it is with a Capricorn, or you're letting that devil go. The devil may be a narcissist. Maybe this is what the Five of Cups is that even though somebody did you dirty, did you wrong, you still feel connected to that person. So with the Devil card, it's letting them go to allow for new love to come in. For some of you, that Nine of Cups indicates it is somebody, maybe out of the blue with the Tower card. But also this could be a healing arts career in some stage, perhaps preparation for it. The infancy, the Page of Cups for that, or artistic endeavor, because you feel the sense of, with the Nine of Cups, this encouragement from the universe to follow your bliss in this way. So yes, I brought this home from some of those cards, which are a little tricky. Okay, Sag, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a personal reading, the link is below. I am promoting my whole enchilada reading because I didn't before, and I should. I mean, it's a very deep discount, so why not? This is the only place where I can promote it. It's a double reading. Full-length natal chart interpretation. If you've never had a reading from me before, it's a great way to get a well-rounded reading, because you get a natal chart interpretation with some of the important transits of the next year, along with a full-length tarot reading for a special price. I have other readings. The link is below. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.